Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly. I'm Jack Nolan, joined as always by the head coach of the Fighting Irish. And Brian, it was not your team's best performance this season, but even when Boston College took the lead in the first quarter, the ultimate outcome never seemed in doubt. So what did you like about the win, and what things will you be working on this week?
Well, I liked a lot of things, actually. Offensively, I thought that other than we didn't take care of the ball, but give BC credit. They did a great job of getting the football out, and we'll have to work on that in practice this week. But the execution was outstanding. Ian Book was, as good as he has been, maybe since he's been here. Showed great pocket awareness, was accurate, used his legs to get out of trouble when he needed to. Offensive line was physical. And receivers made plays, backs ran hard. So, all in all, we came with the kind of energy necessary. We played hard, we played fast, we made some mistakes. That happens sometimes. We'll have to clean those up. Defensively, certainly, there's some things that we'd like to do better in terms of getting the football, in the air. I think all in all, limiting the run has been, obviously our forte. We did a great job again in making them one-dimensional. And when a team is one-dimensional, it's just a matter of time before you get them.
Coach and I will be back to break down all the action of Notre Dame's big win over Boston College right after this timeout. It's time now for our game breakdown, brought to you by Canon. Brian, you began the BC game the way you always want to, taking the ball and scoring on your first possession. But as they always seem to do against Notre Dame, the Eagles counterpunched to take a 10-3 lead. But your team never flinched, even a bit.
Yeah, I think that's the, resolve that this team has shown. It showed it against Clemson. It showed it, in a number of situations. It's just who we are. It's how they're built. They're built different. They have great character, great resolve, and in that is a fact that they prepare hard. And in that preparation, it gives them a great deal of confidence that they're going to be able to translate that onto the playing field.
Now, I thought one of the key points in the game was the defense actually backing BC up 6 yards after your fumble on your own 19-yard line, forcing the Eagles to settle for a field goal.
The defense did a great job there in a sudden change situation, and I think it really changed the momentum of the game.
Ian Book then leads you right down the field to tie the game, running the ball once for 12 yards and completing all 5 of his passes on the drive. The final one, the 10-yard touchdown toss to Ben Skoranek.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good drive. A great response, actually, more than anything else, after the fumble for the offense to come right back. And after we gave up 3, we trade that with 7. And Ben is a guy that can go up and get the football.
Now, after BC retakes the lead at 13-10 with another field goal early in the second quarter, you answer with a 75-yard touchdown drive in just over 2 minutes to take the lead for good. The big play on the drive, a 48-yard pass to Avery Davis down to the 2. Avery has become a huge weapon for you.
He sure has. And I think he's explosive after the catch. I think that's what people are starting to realize, is that when he gets his hands on the football, he's got great speed. We always knew that. Now he's playing fast. It's the confidence that you have when you get the ball in your hands. And now when he touches the football, he's going for touchdowns. And it's a big part of our offense.
The go-ahead touchdown was scored by Sivo Flemister, who stepped in big time in the game, 53 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on 10 carries to earn the game ball.
Yeah, he's such a physical runner. He's so hard to tackle. He's low to the ground. He's squirming and spinning, and it's hard to get a good grasp of him. But he runs so hard. He's so physical, and our guys love blocking for him because he's never stopped. He keeps his feet moving. Even if you think you've got contact on him, he's going to find a way to twist and find the end zone, and that's what he did on this carry.
Now, your defense follows with a 3-and-out that was highlighted by one of the most athletic plays I have ever seen by a linebacker. The pass breakup by Rover Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who caught up to BC's fastest receiver, Jay Flowers, to knock the ball away.
Pretty outstanding play. We didn't necessarily want him in coverage on that situation. We were looking for some help, but didn't need help on that play. Made a great play.
You then march down the field again, the big plays, 2 passes to Javon McKinley for 27 yards, and then a 13-yard pass to Ben Skoranek for the touchdown to give you a 24-13 lead.
Yeah, and as you can tell in narrating the drives, we're getting contributions from a number of different players, and that's when your offense has great balance.
And you get the ball back with 2:09 left and get into the end zone again with 4 seconds left in the half, and the big play on the 49-yard drive, a 16-yard run up the middle by Book before he hits Ben Skoranek for the 3rd touchdown reception for Ben on the day.
Yeah, well, first of all, the run was a design read on the outside. If we got one-on-one matchup, we were going to take it. If they got double zone, we're going to run quarterback draw. Book got us in the quarterback draw. He had a nice 16-yard gain. And then the great matchup that we needed with Skoranek in the slot. Moved them around, got him closer to the ball, which got the nickel on him, and great throw by Book.
Now, if BC was going to have any chance of getting back into the game, they would have to score early in the second half, but your defense would have none of that. First stopping the Eagles on 4th and 1 at the Notre Dame 9.
It worked out really well. It was a great stop. Getting that stop really took a lot of the energy and momentum out of their sideline, and we were able to capitalize.
And I think the rest of that momentum was removed after an Irish turnover at the BC 39. You get the ball right back on a Jack Kaiser interception.
Yeah, I mean, we hit a big play down to Ben Skoranek in cover 2, and we're ready to score again, and we get stripped again. You talk about what we're going to work on. Ball security is going to be one of them, certainly. Jakovic throws it right to Kaiser, and he had a hard time holding on to it, but he falls on it, and we get the ball back, and now we're going to obviously turn it into a score.
Folks, we will give you a behind-the-scenes look at Notre Dame's 8th straight win over Boston College on this week's edition of Icon, right after this short break on Inside Notre Dame Football. For the first time this season, the Fighting Irish took on Boston College last Saturday in a stadium without any fans in attendance. But as you are about to see on this week's edition of Icon, that does not mean there was a lack of intensity and emotion on the Irish sideline during Notre Dame's 45-31 victory over the Eagles.
Look, get off, man, on the way to Boston. Everybody got their mask on, we locked in. My boy Kyle right here. My boy Will, best linebacker in the country.
That's a video.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It's all love, peace, happiness. We on.
It's the renewal of the Holy War with Notre Dame. It's a homecoming for Boston area native Brian Kelly. His Irish arrived number 2 in the country.
We running today. Sivo going crazy. Get our own energy, man. 2, 2, 1, 2.
And the Holy War is underway.
Man, juice, man. Where you at? Oh, let's go, baby.
Corner throw up for grabs for Skoranek. He caught it even with a flag down.
That's weight room, baby. Weight room, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, top. Yes, sir. BYOJ, baby. Yes, sir.
Third down and 10. Bullock surrounded, got it free, and here's Avery Davis again. Down the sideline and inside the 5.
That's money. Money.
Now here's Sibo Flemister, and he's in the end zone for a Notre Dame touchdown.
Balling like fun, man. Let's go.
Was in trouble, got away again. Finds his man, Skoranek for a touchdown.
Yes, sir. I woke up, I knew I was going. He the field with intent. Take the field with intent.
Oh, the snap was poorly timed. Dalen Hayes has it for the Irish.
Let's go. We got their back.
To the corner of the end zone for Skoranek again, and he hangs on for his third touchdown of the half.
Three done. Stop playing with me. And he goes. We all eat today. Let's go. We got that.
31 points and 327 yards of offense in the first half for Notre Dame.
Kaiser.
Jurkovec throws it right back into the hands of Jack Kaiser.
Oh, he did it! He did it! Let's go!
Here's Sebo Flemister inside the 10, refusing to go down, and he almost got to the end zone. He's at the 1.
Let's go 2-0!
Flemister, he remains the tailback. He follows Trimble, and a touchdown.
What I say before?
3 hours earlier.
Sivo going crazy today. You already know that. Come here. Predict the future.
So another Holy War game is in the books. Brian Kelly has now won 100 games.
It wasn't pretty, but we got the job done. 1-0 at the end of the day. Going into a bye week, let's go, man. Get some rest, and we right back at it, man. Finish this thing off strong. That's a win for the Brotherhood, FTB. Great victory!
The game ball is going to go out to somebody that played hard, was physical, did all the things necessary to earn a game ball at the University of Notre Dame, and that's Sebo. Where are those damn trophies they were so interested in us breaking?
It's time now for Instant Reaction, sponsored by SiriusXM. In a showdown of quarterbacks who spent the last 2 years as teammates at Notre Dame, there was no doubt who was most in command of his team's offense Saturday night in Chestnut Hill. Against Boston College, Ian Book was nearly flawless, completing 20 of 27 passes for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns, while rushing for 85 yards on 10 carries and another touchdown. His quarterback rating of 198.8 was his best ever against a Power 5 school, and just as impressive was his decision-making throughout the game. Here's what Book had to say after leading second-ranked Notre Dame to win number 8 on the season.
Hey, Ian, it seems like you're growing a lot more comfortable with extending plays and being able to make a lot of throws out of there. What, if anything, has been, do you attribute to being able to extend plays and even for several seconds and still make throws and keeping your eyes downfield?
That's just part of the player that I am. It's kind of how I played the quarterback position, since I started. But also it's knowing where the guys are going to be, at all times, and understanding that no matter where the play is, I know where I can escape and I know where everyone will be. And they did a phenomenal job, the guys on the outside today, coming back and finding me when I was scrambling, and that definitely showed tonight.
Ian, is this the best you feel like you've been playing, like over a stretch in your Notre Dame career? And sort of building on Patrick's question, like the ability to trust where your outside receivers are going to be. I'm not sure that you necessarily felt that in September because they were new. They're sort of finding their way. Has that been one of the big changes?
Yeah. First off, I feel good. Definitely feel good. I think as an offense, as a whole, we're starting to gel right now, and that's just awesome. It's chemistry. It's understanding where people are going to be at the right time, and what defense they're going to bring to certain plays. And second is they did an unbelievable job. Every time I scramble, they're starting to understand that the play could go on for a few seconds longer than it might normally feel like. But they're doing a good job of coming back to me and making plays and shaking off the DB. And the play's never dead until that whistle blows. And we obviously were able to make some huge plays tonight after I extended it outside of the pocket. And Ben, Javon, Joe, all those guys just come fighting, keep fighting. The play's still going on, and I just feel like the chemistry between the receivers and myself is really getting there, and it feels great.
Hey, great game today.
Thank you.
Your offensive line has said, your various guys have said that they would go to battle for you any day and twice on Sunday with your leadership skills. This week will be a true test of that. I had talked to Ade and I asked him the question about how do you keep the younger underclassmen motivated and focused so that they don't lose sight going into North Carolina?
Yeah. I think we'll just talk with them, and it's important. I think this bye week is going to be helpful though at the same time. I mean, it's a great time to rest up and, get our bodies, back to where they need to be. But the young guys have done a great job of understanding that too. I don't think there'll be a big fall off. These guys are in it, to win a national championship, just like a fifth year senior would be. And that's how it's got to be. And Coach Kelly, again, he'll do a great job of setting the message and, going into this bye week and how we need to act during this bye week and what we need to do. But I think it's good timing. You guys, we could use a break, and it's how you use the break and what you do and take from it, how you're going to play against UNC the following week. So I think we'll be fine on that aspect, and I just think the freshmen have their head on straight, especially here, on the offense. I can say that.
That's our instant reaction segment for this week, brought to you by SiriusXM. Coach Kelly will rejoin us for Irish Intel right after this.
Second and goal from the 13. Book was in trouble, got away again, finds his man Skoranek for a touchdown.
Coach, our final play this week occurred with 5:52 on the second quarter game clock on second and goal for Notre Dame from the BC 13-yard line. Ian Book does a terrific job keeping the play alive and finding Ben Skoranek in the end zone for the duo's second touchdown connection of the game.
Well, the primary here is on the backside, and that is the tight end and the running back coming out of the backfield. They're both covered well. Ian steps up, pulls out, backs out, and finds Ben Skoranek, who was the one-on-one individual on the opposite side. I'd like to say that we drew this one up, but nope, this is all Ian Book. He was shut down on one side, pulls out, knows that he's got Ben one-on-one on the other side, and just delivers a great play. That's a player making a play right there.
And that will wrap up this week's Irish Intel segment, brought to you by TireRack.com. Coach and I will return to wrap up this edition of Inside Notre Dame Football right after this. Brian, the win over Boston College was the 100th of your career, tying you with Lou Holtz for second all-time in program history. Now, after the game, you made it really clear you don't think about this kind of stuff right now. But on that flight back from Boston, your hometown, did your mind wander at all to the fact that you have won 100 of the 137 games you've coached at Notre Dame?
I can't say it did. I was watching a great movie on the flight. We're so lucky to have in-flight movies here at Notre Dame, so it was awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's a really incredible feat because that means you've coached long enough to do that, and we all know this is a difficult business, and to be here that long at Notre Dame. But I really don't sit down and think about it. There'll be plenty of time to think about wins and things like that. I think more about our players and the success that they've had, and the really good players that have gone on from here, and the coaches that we've had to make this happen.
No one in college football has played more games this season than the 8 games you have played so far. And combined with the fact this is final exam week at Notre Dame, this weekend's bye in the schedule seems to come at the perfect time.
I think it does. We're a little tired on defense in particular, and I think offensively we could have used the break as well. So it comes at a good time. We can finish up schooling. Next week, the campus now departs for break, actually. I was going to say midwinter break, but usually around this time it's midwinter break, but they're gone until February. So it gives us an opportunity to kind of really focus in on what's the most important thing now. And now that the academics will be over this week, we can focus on football and the details of the stretch drive. 3 really, really good opponents, starting with North Carolina. So it comes at a really good time. That's correct.
It's going to be a short week because you play Carolina on the Friday after Thanksgiving, and the Tar Heels will be a challenge. They lead the ACC in total offense and are second in scoring at just over 43 points a game.
Yeah, no doubt. Sam Howell, the quarterback, is outstanding. Very talented receiving core. 2 or 3 backs that can really pitch in and do some really good things for him. So this is definitely a challenge for us. In particular, we're going to have to play with great physicality. I mean, I think that that's our strength, and we'll have to be who we are. They're going to be who they are, and let's go. Let's play.
Ryan, thank you. Rest up a bit, and we'll see you back here in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it.
Folks, that will do it for this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football. Coach Kelly and I will return in a couple of weeks to break down all the highlights of Notre Dame's Thanksgiving Friday game at North Carolina. Until then, for Coach Kelly, I'm Jack Nolan. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Irish.